All right, this is Randalicious, and welcome to the 39th Texas podcast. If you're watching the YouTube video of this, check out the description. There's a form in there for you to fill out for topics for the next podcast. If you are watching the stream, something new going on here is there's a new feature with the Twitch chat bot. If you hit $submit and then you put a topic, it will start noting down some topics, put it into a notepad for me, and I will take a look at that at the end of the stream and ask some of the questions that are posted on there. So let's get it going. I'm Randalicious, and I'm the leader of Hexis.
I'm Trickool, I'm a general in Hexis.
I'm Gingbino and I'm a general in Hexis.
I'm Ashley and I'm a 1 banana still in Hexis.
I'm Karma, I'm a 3 banana in Hexis.
I'm Ecdubs, second Kiwi to max total.
Alright, so earlier today they did this RuneScape Summer Summit. There were a few interesting things that were on there. So one of the things that they discussed was there was a survey that went out about a month ago, and around 30,000 people filled it out. But from the data that they collected on that, said 96% of people identified as being males. Were you guys surprised by this number? Did you expect that to be more or less than that?
I really think it's a lot higher than most people would have expected. I mean, yeah, people know a male-dominated game, but 96% is ridiculously high.
Yeah, like, I know the male, definitely be more male population, but I know heaps of girls that play, so it doesn't seem that right. Like, I don't know, maybe it is.
I actually thought more males. Just, I don't know any girls that actually play RuneScape besides Ashy.
Well, it's always historically been a melee-dominated game, so 96 seems in the ballpark, maybe a little less. I only know a handful of girls play though, so I'd say I was half expect figure similar to that, 95-ish.
Man, I'm really saying that this 96% is quite low. I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say it's over 98%. Like if you guys see on the picture there on the chart, you see there is a little fucking helicopter on there. And that's like almost as many people identified as being a helicopter as they did a girl. Like there were many people that filled this out that there were a lot of memes that were had on Twitter about a month ago when this went out. Like people like I sexually identify as being like a dragon skimitar or something like that. Um, I think that obviously it gives us a good idea of what it is, but I think it's definitely way over 98%. I'll put like a 98.3%, guys. I'd say. I think it's
Wow.
low.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought it would be around 97 or 98%. I don't really know that many females who play it, so.
I don't really know that many females.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm rare.
So the next thing that they looked at was how long have you guys played old school RuneScape? And 55% of the player base that answered said that they've been playing it for over 2 years. So I guess my question is for you guys, like how long have you guys been playing? And are you surprised that only 55% of the game has been playing for over 2 years?
Yeah, I've just been playing a bit over a year. I thought it was interesting to see that like 23% of people have been playing for less than a year. Yeah, very interesting.
I started the first day it came out. I wasn't really that into it though until like a year later. But it seems about right.
Yeah, I remember camping the old school RuneScape Twitter feed to get a link to play when it first came out. They took one major break, which was when I was studying for my GCSE exams in 2013. 21% only a year is a hell of a lot because say they all started playing early 2015. I think that their idea of an old school update is a lot different from our idea of an old school update. So I think that they have, well, it's obvious that they have a voice, but I think the two clashing opinions of what the two majorities want to see is definitely something that will come into effect with this whole clue scroll thing. I mean, some people will love it and others will hate it.
I've been playing for almost 2 years now. Besides the first month of old school. I guess the people with like 10%, like over 1 month, maybe dead mode players. So that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
I've been playing for over 2 years, about a month after release, and I'm not surprised by how many are less than a year. Because within the last year's rhythm, I've really started to push putting out new content updates that are more likely to bring in new players. Likes of Iron Man mode, and all that sort of stuff. That'll bring new subscribers to the game rather than just try and retain.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see there's like 45% of people have started playing within the last year. That to me was very surprising. I thought that it would be a much greater percentage of people that have been playing the game for 3 years than yeah. It's very nice to see that a lot of newer players have been starting. And yeah, I mean you can look at all of the updates that they've come out with in the last year and a half that have really helped grow the player base. Starting with like the Grand Exchange and all of the other updates that we've had since have really attracted a lot of players, which is really nice to see. All right. And then another thing that they had was what do you want us to do? Like it was kind of like a priority poll in a sense that they had, and um, it was voted from 1 to 5 going down. It was the number one thing they want to people want to see is uh, more updates that are related to like training skills, so like skilling updates. Number 2 is killing bosses. 3, questing. 4, mini games, and PKing in dead last. Which something that they did touch on even earlier was like what do you do most in game, and player killing was dead last in that. It really based on the survey of 30K people, people don't like PKing. But what do they most want us to do? I mean, for me, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come out with for some of the training skills. They've talked about like this woodcutting guild and like the catacombs. Those are gonna bring out a bunch of different ways of training skills. So I'm looking forward to seeing some updates like that. I was pretty surprised that training skills was the number one most voted thing that players want to see them do. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the only reason minigames was fourth is because it's significantly less shit than player killing. I discussed on a previous podcast that there wasn't a way to say like rank of enjoyment. It was just rank out of 5. And a lot of people were forced into corner to put things that they didn't particularly like ahead of other things. The funny thing about this is that so player killing has come dead last, and yet they're still proposing this H1Z1 knockoff thing
Oh, I mean, they
when it's
really.
clearly what the survey has sort of concluded that the people do not want. So
What player
I
killing
don't,
minigames?
I don't get why they've put this information to ignore it.
Yeah, I was surprised that player killing was the bottom, seeing as when all these kind of surveys come out, they normally have a question like, what makes you play old school rather than RS3? And the top answer is almost always the old school combat system. And yet, player killing's the bottom of the priority poll.
Killing bosses is still using the old school combat system,
Yeah,
but it's not
so
written off completely. but the mechanic in which you kill bosses is changing, like with every boss. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it's very interesting that player killing was the lowest thing. They keep forcing out these updates that are catering to PKing and player killing, and it seems to be on the bottom. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's it.
I also I don't know if they just don't want to let go, but we've got however many dead mode worlds which are entirely dedicated to PKing, 2 PvP worlds, and a bounty hunter world, and no other aspect mentioned on that poll has got a world. I mean, it's a bit difficult for things to be entirely dedicated to things, but I think it's a poor use of their resources really to have that many worlds just dedicated to something that has sort of lost its novelty 3 years the game has been out.
I'd like to see more quests, and it was only rank 3 on the poll. I think training skills was number 1 because people actually want AFK methods, maybe. I'd like to see more methods, but actually intensive ones, personally.
I think skills are so high is because the max cape are so fucking good.
Was the survey
even
done
PVM is
before or
going
after
up to get
release
it.
of Monkey Madness 2?
It was done before, wasn't it?
This was done just before.
Just before, like a week or.
Yeah, I imagine if they did it now, this thing would be a lot higher.
You think so?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
highly to the perception.
I think they
Wouldn't
should
mind
have
more quests.
grouped questing with achievement diaries, though. It would have gone a lot higher. And Zaya's got all that room for an extra diary. Diaries are fun. It would have ranked up a little bit higher with that as well.
Surprised to see PK on the bottom as well. I thought that's what majority of the casual players did. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Trickool made a really good point about PKing coming in last in updates that people want to see and last in what people actually do, but they do seem so focused on PvP type modes. They're still trying to make Deadman a thing, but I, that was a really good point that you made. So 30K people filled out the survey. Did you, and what did you find most interesting from the results? Like for me, I was for me it was the most interesting thing seeing that PKing is not popular. I think I don't know how the fuck PKing came in last behind doing mini games. Like, are people really that's sad for PKing, I think. I thought that was the most interesting thing that they shared with the stats.
I honestly think that the community is just burnt out from it. Even those who like PKing, they're getting force fed all the content, and you can only have one dish at a time. So I think maybe they're just saying we don't need any more of it, rather than we're not interested in it anymore.
They don't want new content because new content just splinters PvP.
Yeah, and it's been
Splits it up.
historically
More
always
centralized.
split.
Well, to say when you said they're not saying we don't, I don't know what the fuck you said, but like the PKing was last in like what people most enjoy on the game on that aspect of the survey though. I I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
They're a dying breed.
All right, so something pretty big. It happened the day after we released the last podcast. There was almost talks of having a emergency podcast to discuss this topic here, but Alright, so EHP changes. There were many, many changes made on CML to EHP and all of the rates. So to go through a brief rundown of some of the rates that were adjusted for those of you who aren't up to date with everything. So the combats got changed from 120k per hour to 150k an hour. Prayer was changed from 600 to 625k an hour. Woodcutting was changed from 95 to 165k an hour. Fishing pre 99 was changed from 4 tick to 3 tick. Fishing post 99 was changed to 110k an hour. Crafting was changed from 336k an hour of air battle staves to 425k an hour at black d'hide bodies. Smithing was changed from 200 to 300k an hour. That'd be 3-bar rune items to blast furnace. Mining the was changed to pre-99 mining was changed accordingly for 3 tick 4 granite. Thieving went up from 265 to 270k. Slayer from 39 to 40k. Rune crafting was changed the lava rate at 68.5k per hour from level 75 to 91, and then from 40 mil to 200 mil. It assumes nats from like up until 40 mil XP. Hunter was changed from 164 to 175k an hour. And finally, construction was changed from 780 to 875k an hour. So that's a fucking lot. So what do you guys think about the changes to the EHP? Do you agree with the changes? And how do you feel about the rates now assuming 0 time GP but still having nats up to 40 mil XP, which assumes that you use that money to flip? What's your opinion on everything?
I agree with all of them apart from rune crafting and Slayer, I'd say. Crafting being blade bodies is kind of stupid, but it doesn't really make that big of an impact. But rune crafting being 40 mil, I think it should be just moved to 99, maybe below 99 in terms of livers. And then Slayer being 40 is just an absolute joke. It should be at least 45, if not 50k an hour.
Yeah, I know guys like Izra and Omar are getting like closing in on 51k an hour. And he's just inching the rate up.
Overall, I agree with the changes, except for rune crafting. Obviously, that doesn't really make much sense in terms of changing the Bibles to 0 time GP, but leaving that at that. Yeah, obviously Slayer needs to be changed as well to 45 at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with most of changes. The rune crafting one, I like to see why you made it 40 mil. And the smithing one as well. I haven't done blast furnace in like over a year, but I don't know if you can get 300k an hour for like 30 hours in a row or something like that. And stuff like thieving and Slayer could be a bit higher.
To go on to your blast furnace comment there, with an adequate host, you should be able to at least get 300k an hour. There's a lot of people that disagree with blast furnace being the EHP rate because you can't train it for 15 hours a day, which I think is terrible logic because, like, look at farming, for example. You do 10 minutes of farming a day and it's 1 mil an hour and it's the most
It's
efficient.
different though, really. The aspect people don't like is that it's foreign in the way that you are forced to rely on other people like no other skill.
Efficiency isn't subjective. If it's the most efficient way of doing it, it's the most efficient way of doing it. If you can only do it
Yeah, I agree it should be EHP, but people
like
are still a bit iffy on the whole.
like if you can only do it 3 hours a day, that's fine. Like you have plenty of time to get it to the 200 mil or 185 mil have you on your way to 200 mil all theoretically. I think the rates done were good. The melee one was a nice change. That was within 48 hours of this new method being discovered. That was changed. Prayer still, in my opinion, is low. The woodcutting was a good change. Let's see. It was interesting changing thieving, increasing that by 5k an hour. Not really sure what the logic was behind that. Slayer and fuck, let me get it out. Slayer and rune crafting are fatally flawed in their current states, and overall make the so he did a good job by making the EHP a lot more accurate for 10 other skills. But the two skills that aren't accurate are the two most important skills in terms of EHP. It's I don't know. I really really hate the changes that are made. Is flawed, and to me I think it's laughable that he justifies Nats to 40 mil by saying, "Oh, you use that money to flip." I just have a whole lot of problems with everything right now.
I don't exactly think that flipping is that laughable because it just kills the big bad wolf, which is alts. But yeah, the whole inconsistency of CML at the moment is just a fucking mess. For the most skills are in their sort of what they should be. I'm still a bit iffy about black DI bodies because I don't know if you'd be able to if there would be able to be one person doing 200 mil crafting purely off DI bodies. I don't know if there's a market for it entirely. So I'm iffy on that one, but the gatherers all going up, fishing being adjusted, woodcutting and hunter all being adjusted to the new fruits of the skilling curve is all good. But yeah, the main one is the rune crafting, not so much the Slayer, just because it's not as big of a deal for me, just because it doesn't sort of set that precedence of inconsistency on the site. It should be just 70k an hour lavas from the time you can make lavas. I know the reason he gave was because he didn't want to fuck up time to max. And his whole excuse is that, you've got 23,000 hours doing 200 mil wall, you've got 23,000 hours to flip. But I think it should either go full, yes, we assume alts, rather than just sitting on the fence saying, oh, you could do this, because that really bugs me out.
Right. So, how have these EHP changes affected your play style, if at all? Uh, if so, how?
I do use alts, so these EHP changes haven't really affected me at all. Just can do black DI bodies for crafting and lavas for rune crafting and stuff like that, so it hasn't really changed how I'm going to play in the future.
Right now, not really, but when I do smithing, I'll probably try out Blast Furnace again. And as for rune crafting, I guess probably wait for Australian servers to do lava runes.
I'd like to have absolutely no intention of doing any of the viables, and Hunter and Agility will give me the set amount of GP I need for just crap for skilling, like farming and mining and astrals and things like that, though. Not so much, I guess, but I did sort of stop rune crafting for the change, so despite how much I say I'm not affected by it, I am still a slave to it.
Yeah, you were looking for any excuse you could to stop rune crafting, and I think that this gave
It
you
was a
enough.
blessing.
Really haven't affected my play style. Been using alts for a couple years now, so very happy to see that the rates are more accurate on a lot more skills. If I could go back and like back when I did crafting, I did air battle stabs. I don't know. I mean, looking back on it, I don't regret not doing black d'hide bodies, even though I knew theoretically I was making all the money I need for 200 mil all on an alt. But I mean, looking back on it, I might have done things differently. But I mean, it was 600 mil for 200 mil crafting. I can't really be too upset. So, nah, it hasn't really changed it.
I don't use alts, and it's not going to change the way I play the game. I'm just going to keep making runes for a while, and then try to find something else to do if I ever finish this. There's enough skills in the
Same here.
game that need money.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't use alts either, and I don't really know that much about EHP rates and all that, so it hasn't really affected me. I'll keep runecrafting.
Alright, so how would you guys feel if so this is all, I mean, this is all because Foot does not play RuneScape anymore, so it's hard for someone that doesn't play the game to set rates. So how would you possibly feel about CML's EHP rates being like approved by like a board of 10 people or something like that? Or if not that, what about being maybe having like a zero time like to satisfy a possibility would be like to satisfy all parties, and we all know all of the filters that are on CML, and how would you guys feel about there maybe being a separate filter, one that would assume zero time GP and one that does not? So like one of the filters, for example, would have like rune 3-bar rune items for smithing, nats for rune crafting, uh, for example, and the other one would have like blast furnace, black d'hide bodies, and lavas. Like what do you think would be the best
I think
solution?
the idea of like a council to decide the rate would be hilariously bad. There would just be constant bickering and fighting about everything. I don't think it would be overly constructive, but it would certainly be enjoyable. And I don't agree with there being some kind of filter for it.
Really,
Um,
I quite like the idea of having a separate filter. I mean, with all the
so it would have to be like a custom opt-in, opt-out sort of thing, though.
no, not it doesn't have to be that. Doesn't have to be like
I
that.
don't want all you alt users shitting up my non-alt high scores.
Like I mean, look at all the filters we have. We have no filters, 3 combat, 1 defense, Iron Man, Ultimate Iron Man, free to play only, on RSI scores. Just
But
add
they are
a.
concrete things that we looked up on the high scores and verified, rather
Yeah.
than an opt-in bug filter.
That is a good point, but I think that it wouldn't take much effort. Like CML is a cash cow for Foot. Like he doesn't do fuck, and he makes a hell of money from it. I think that he should please the audience by giving separate filters so people can see what they want to see.
Um, well, I guess having a group of people that actually play the game would be better than someone who doesn't play the game. But if they are going to do that, they need to be consistent on the EHP. Like right now, like you guys said, it's kind of a mess. And as for a filter, I guess that would be a good thing as well.
If
I feel
CML had a non-alt users like filter, how would you like go about accepting people to the CC? There'd just be so many different variants to check.
That would really create an interesting situation. Uh, I don't know.
I'm rank 1, no 200 mils, get around me. Things like that.
yeah, I think a group of people who actually play the game would be a lot better to provide more accuracy to the rates. And a filter kind of makes everyone happy, so I don't know, might be a good idea.
I mean, I would just like, you don't need a group of people, as Jin said, bickering about rates, but
But that
having
would be more fun.
having people that play the game decide the race would definitely be a lot better than someone who's been out of the game for a year, 2 years. I was talking on Foot on Skype when oh shit, farming was also changed. I failed to mention that previously. It was changed from like 800k to 1.1 mil an hour. When I was talking on with Foot, I sent him he found the video of Trance doing, I think it was like optimized farming tree route, and he Trance had a rune pouch on him. Foot said, "What is that thing in his inventory? That pouch thing? How is he casting? How is he casting that spell? Like he doesn't even know about a fucking rune pouch. This really shouldn't be the guy that has the ultimate say on what the race should be." All right. So let's dive into a few questions here. That have some topics that were on the Q and A's in the last couple weeks. So actually, this wasn't even on the Q and A, but I'll fucking ask it anyway. So they had a poll recently, and in that poll, it was about using bonds to change your names, and it did pass a poll. The one about like RuneFest full accommodation failed, but what do you think about bonds soon being able to let you using a bond to change your name in the future? And did you vote yes for that?
I voted no for this one because I have alts and I use bonds for my alts in my main. So voting yes, it actually makes bonds more expensive, right? So I'm just selfish.
Yeah, two reasons. Just I don't want this extra microtransaction to slip the crack, and just the price of bonds would increase slightly over time just because they offer a different service. It's you can still just buy a bond, sell a bond on the G, and then transfer the G to get the name changed. So I don't think it is as harmful as the whole RuneFest accommodation thing, but it's definitely the second finger up your ass.
Oh yeah, I think this is one of those things that they kind of portrayed as like a harmless update, which I mean, you could argue absolutely is harmless. Like you can already do the same thing in RS3. Why can't you do it in here? Well, that kind of logic can then be taken to see all of the other microtransactions that they have in that game. I think that what we have right now with now the name change coming soon, like the more use the bonds have, the more expensive they're gonna be. I don't want to be paying 4 mil for a bond for my alt. I voted no, and I'm disappointed in the community for letting this one pass. It had failed before, and I want to know what the. I don't know how badly it failed the first time. I
It's
imagine.
quite close.
Yeah, yeah. I would imagine it'd be quite close, at least like 65 to 74%. Uh, but I'd like to know like kind of what the change in players' attitude was for why we voted yes as a whole this time, given that it's failed before.
I didn't vote because voting is experience waste, and I think the reason that it did pass is because a lot of the people who might have voted no in the past probably have stopped playing, just as a kind of simple explanation. It's followed a steady trend where more progressive updates have become more and more likely to pass as time has gone on.
I don't really think it's needed. I don't vote either, so I never really saw it when it was up on the poll, but I guess if you really want, you can transfer money and do it on RS3, but I don't see the need for it in this game.
I believe the bonds should just stay membership bonds and shouldn't have anything, any additional features to them.
Yeah,
Also, I'm selfish and yeah,
yeah,
and I use.
Go ahead.
There you go.
No, go ahead.
Uh,
I thought you were done talking.
and I do use bonds to pay for like 3 odds, so I don't want them going up.
You could kind of see this kind of shit happening way back when the name changed from an old from a membership bond to an old school bond or whatever the fuck they changed it. It used to be just a straight up like membership bond or I don't know. They changed the name of the bond. I don't know what it was or what they changed it to, but when they made that change from the membership bond, you knew that shit like this was gonna be coming around at some point in time. But But here it comes. So there was on the Q&A they showed off this thing called a two-handed Torag shield. So give some brief. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but brief information about it. So pretty much it's a two-handed shield, and you would wear it with the full set, and it would be a fucking like from what I see, like the best in slot shield overall, and like you would deflect damage. Like you reflect 25% of the damage you block 70% of the time. Your defense level is boosted by 2/3 of your current HP, and just a whole bunch of shit like that. So Tarag's Bulwark. What do you think about it?
I think it's a really cool idea. RuneScape PVM seems to be largely stagnant, at least in old school, where it's mostly centered around just trying to put out as much damage as quickly as possible, and this would introduce more of a tanking aspect to the game. And if it could be balanced maybe a bit better, then yeah, I think that'd be a great update. If bosses were then added that incorporated its mechanics.
I thought it was a very interesting. However, it seemed way too overpowered, in my opinion, to be something that comes from Barrows. Like, we're talking like level 1 PVM. Like, this is like, Barrows is like the easiest kind of PVM that you can do in this game. So I don't think that a shield that's that fucking good should come from it. To me, it seems more of a shield that, instead of maybe putting it with a Tarag set, they're coming out with like or there's talks, or they're coming out with like some level tier 80 shit gear from raid bosses. Perhaps this would, I don't know if it would be better fit there, but I don't think that it coming into the game through Barrows would be the best way.
Why
But
not?
yeah, it is very interesting and very unique. I will give it that. I don't I was on when I first saw it, I really hated the idea, but I'm a little bit more open to it now. And like, if I was to vote yes to it, it would have to be called something different and come from something outside of Barrows.
Yeah, I like the shield. Right now it's kind of DPS escape in the PVM community. I can see people like using their ult with the shield to like help get boss pits. That would be interesting.
I don't really do much combat, so I'd probably give it a good use though, because it says here that the Torax is not really used that much, so maybe people will start using it more if it had more benefits. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it could be really used throughout the new raids that are coming out with Zaya. Could be interesting. Add some new kind of mechanics to bosses, and yeah, it could be good for that.
Alright, so on the recent Q&A, they showcased a bunch of items, cosmetic items that are going to be coming from the new Clue Scroll expansion. So, a couple of those things are like the Unicorn Heads, Greater Demon Head, Bucket Helm, and Crew Outfit, Third Age Tools, Shark Head, and a bunch of shit. What was your guys' favorite one that they showed?
The demon heads. They're ridiculously huge, and they look really stupid, and I'd love to see them come into the game. I want people to vote yes to them and then complain about how dumb all of them look. Because they're all just heads put onto the body rather than masks. It's disgusting.
You said that they were prototypes and they wouldn't rescale them.
Oh, nah. They'll rescale them, but they won't be actual masks like they are in RS3.
Have you seen how big the Black Demon's horns are? They're like
Fantastic.
as wide as the character is tall. They look fucking
They'll be taller than
amazing.
the pillars at the runecrafting altars.
I'm not a fan of the cosmetics. I think there's getting to a stage where there's just too many.
You'd be like a dog trying to get a stick through a door. Just won't be able to get through.
Yeah, the demon heads definitely look ridiculous.
In a good way. I like
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
kind
in
of
a good
it's
way.
kind of like the bludgeon. Like when we first saw that, we thought, "What the fuck is that?" It's just big.
Hey,
I
it
think we
doesn't matter
still
what
think what
that
the fuck is
looks
that.
Oh yeah, my bad. Precision of language. Yeah, that thing is still out of this world. I thought that the items that were on there looked like so bad that I loved them so much. I was streaming when I watched it, and I just for some people that watch my streams see a lot of times I try to wear as ugly kind of outfits that I can a couple times out of the week, and I tell you what, adding some of the things on this wardrobe would be fantastic. Bucket helm looked terrible in a good way. The shark head though, I think
Oh,
takes it from me. That thing was holy shit. I remember way back when they came out with some kind of update on RS3. Alkin made a video. Like there's like like you use like the shark head for fishing or something like that.
Yeah, the Fury Shark outfit. You
I,
dip your head into the water to catch the
yeah,
fish.
I remember saying that's some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen, and like I just would absolutely love to be able to have that fucking shark head.
I think they all look ridiculous and do not suit old school, but yeah, I can't believe they brought the shark head into the game. I thought the one on RS3 looked ridiculous, but what's the point of it? It looks so stupid.
The only thing I don't really like is the Anko outfit, just because it looks something straight off the Solon store. It just looks tacky.
I thought
Yeah.
from a quality perspective, I thought that was the uh, best looking thing that they did on it.
We're not going for best looking, we're going for
I
clunky
I I am
existing model just made in the head slot.
I am aware, but I'm
That
saying
is
like
what we want.
I am an artist and I am paid to make shit look good. They did the best job on the ANQ outfit.
And the third
They
age
just
like
made you
pick,
look like an Anku.
the third age pick and hatchet, they just look like zebra dildos or something. Just stripy.
You know, one problem that I really have with those is that you can't use a smoldering stone on them.
I don't think anyone who is using one for XP, anyone who's using one bit is using it for XP. They're just using it to say, yes, look at how much money I have.
Yeah, but wouldn't you like to be able to actually use it for mining or woodcutting? I would.
Nope.
Too poor for that.
Zero time GP. Like, just flip for your money. Alright, so moving on. Something that they had on there was they suggested changing the Slayer cape emote and what it looks like. Currently, right now, it's just like a Turok jumps on your back and you jump on it and squish it. And what they want, and this was straw pulled and it got like 90% approval, was some kind of idea like an abyssal demon spawns, you kill it, you take out like its spine or its guts or whatever, and like you pull out like a whip out of its ass essentially as a
Wow.
new emote for the Slayer cape instead. And I mean, people seem to love it. Do you love it?
Why? What's wrong with the normal one? Have they really got nothing better to do? I think they've got quite a lot on their plate without to know about with this.
I mean, it's not like there's some
But I mean,
statues that need
I
some
didn't even know
updating.
this was a thing, so or whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I don't stand around doing emotes, so I don't really care either way. If it happens, it happens. But I'm fine with the current one.
Yeah, I don't really care about the Slayer cape emote. You know, it's fine how it is right now, but other emotes like the Max cape emote is could be better. So yeah.
I didn't know that people really cared about emotes, especially like I don't really like the idea of changing the emote. Like it sounded like it would be a lot of dev time on this.
It
Uh,
prolonged the release of Maxscape because it lacked an emote, And now they're just going, a bit bored today at the office, let's just redo a whole emote.
No, it's because some dweeb posted on Reddit and then everyone clicked the up arrow button. So they figured, oh, let's talk about this. It'll look like we're engaging with the community.
And now people actually
Wrong.
like it. I
Yep.
think that it should stay the same. You know, it changing the Slayer cape emote really ruins the old school feel.
Yeah.
I really
Kind of
wish that
that.
was still a thing.
It is if you want it to
I'm a
be.
broken man.
It is if you want it to be.
You have to make it yourself now.
Not with these master clues coming out.
That's gonna be great. Alright, so something else that they discussed. I don't know if it was from like I don't know if they talked about having this as a drop from an aquatic monster or like from the clue scrolls, but pretty much there was a suggestion of like a wieldable dragon harpoon that has a special attack that you would use to give you a +3 fishing boost. What do you think about this as a potential item in the game and the effects from it?
Just from a consistency point of view, it's dumb. Uh, skill fishing isn't exactly something. Well, efficient fishing isn't exactly something that relies on having a sort of tool. You need your rod,
A
and that's it.
fishing
But,
rod? I mean,
you need your wood cutting instrument. You need your dragon axe. You need your dragon pickaxe. You don't need your dragon barbarian rod, do you? It doesn't.
No, you need your steam stuff.
It doesn't fit the theme. And I think this is just an excuse. Pump out another dragon. Like, how underwhelming would it be? It's like dragon harpoon.
Mm.
Just, I don't like it very much. Nothing to do with having nearly 200 mil fishing or anything. It's just not consistent.
how is it not consistent? Like you got the gatherer, like you just mentioned, like wood cutting.
Well, we should have
Yeah,
a dragon butterfly net as well. It gives us 5 boost to hunter because it just fits, doesn't it?
Do you want a bronze fishing rod, iron fishing rod, black fishing rod?
I think this is quite stupid. Doesn't really make much sense in any.
Stupid doesn't cut it.
It doesn't really make much sense. And there's no point just putting it in there just because there's a dragon axe and a dragon pickaxe to do the same thing. Yeah.
well, I have a little bit of a different opinion. I understand that the game needs to move forward with some little bullshit, little power creeps every now and then. You know, see the amulet of torture, see the primordial boots, see smoldering stone, shit like this, for example. At some point in time, there's gonna come a time where they say, "Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Let's do it." And when that time comes, I'll vote for it. Uh,
You just need to embrace it right now rather than try and delay it as much as we can.
I am embracing it because fuck fishing. You know, you can sit on
No.
you're sitting there on your high horse at 190 something mil fishing. Like
200
I had
mil
to
fishing.
work for that. When this comes out, people won't have to put any work in whatsoever.
what
Yeah, there's going to be people getting like 200 mil in a day.
on a
Be
serious
a
note, what kind
mess.
of percentage would that have on fishing? That +3, not much.
It would increase the ratio of cooking XP to fishing XP.
So okay.
Oh, I like the idea of like a buff to fishing sharks, but a dragon harpoon is kind of lame. Maybe they could do something else. Yeah.
Alright, Jin's already talked about it. So there was a dev blog that came out. It's Last Man Standing. And so, to give a brief overview of this, the concept of Last Man Standing is a simple one. 25 players are placed onto an island with max stats and no gear. From there, they must search the island for supplies and gear and kill anyone that stands in their way to be the last man standing. Fog will force people into a smaller area after time, and they estimated that the game would go about 20 to 25 minutes. Essentially, this is H1Z1 in RuneScape. So, if you had a chance to read the dev blog, what did you think about it as a whole? What are some aspects that you liked or disliked?
Well, the main thing I took away from this was Deadman is shit, but that last 5 minutes was a massive hit. So we're gonna just cut out all the gross stuff in the middle, which is man mode, and just stick tournament into a different mini game. It's something I remember thinking about on a podcast like 2015, maybe like 14 or 15 or something, about battle royale kind of game mode. I do think it's interesting that they are still going forward with it, despite it being the lowest on what people want to see from the old school team. But maybe it's just because it's been so popularly received on social media. So I can understand why they're doing it. People seem to be hyped for it, and it's probably just going to be another one of those things that's pulling 8K views on Twitch for the first month and then disappears off the radar completely.
Yeah. I think this is quite a good idea. I think it will attract a lot of players. I feel like, even though I'm not a fan of Deadman mode or PKing in general, that I'd probably give it a go. And it's actually a gold sync as well. There's like a competitive thing.
It's so minuscule though in
Yeah.
the big picture.
I would love
They
to.
could have like a higher tier kind of thing, like be like 500 or 1 mil entrance, and then the gold out of the game.
Yeah, something that they talked about on the Summer Summit earlier today was they would probably have like some kind of special weekends where there'd be like a 10 mil entry fee, 5 mil entry fee, and things like that. Now that would have quite a bit more effect as a gold sync than the current one that they're proposing. I think that it looks great, and I mean, I don't see any obvious flaws with it at this point. You know, like I hope and believe that they've learned how to control the fog and know how to effectively use it. So that whole forcing people into a confined area towards the end is going to be good. I think what they're really looking for in this, I think they're really aiming for popular streamable content, and that's what this is going to bring. Uh, I kind of disagree with Trickle in that I don't think this is going to fade away. Uh, I think that Deadman was shit from the start, and that's, I mean, we've seen like, how many people are on Deadman right now? You got 27 and 29 people on Deadman Mode Worlds respectively, seasonal that is, and that this is the middle of a Friday night prime time or Saturday night prime time hours. You know, like I think that this as a game mode is a really good idea, and I think it's going to be very successful.
You said something about people playing different amounts to get into games. What would be the point? Because the service you get at the end of the day is the same. Max stats, find stuff, kill people. If they were to add tiers to it, like pest control boats, to say a novice tier, you get 50 plus all stats. You find rune shit for some of the noobs. Intermediate, you're going to be finding like dragon, and then you get to the big boys where it's like you run in with max stats and you're getting your 70 plus gear and stuff like that.
That would
Doesn't
be,
one person win a portion of the pot at the end?
yeah, one. So
Yeah.
it's what
Yeah,
is
so
it?
having higher buy-ins would increase the amount of money you get per game if you win.
Yeah.
I think Jagex learned quite a lot from Deadman mode, so I can see them like actually making this work, and it looks fun. I think there'll be a lot of good stream content from this. If they want it to like last a while though, they're gonna have to add like different game modes, maybe like objective, maybe even like team game modes.
More
Yeah.
like a team capture the flag type thing.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Castle
we
Wars.
could have. It'd be nice to have one of those.
Yeah, but like you could win money from doing that, so people actually play it.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think that yeah, there's a whole lot of potential for them to add different kind of modes. So, he was saying earlier before, like everyone with like level 50 stats and shit like that. Like there could have like a game mode for like people with like one defense, for example. Like that would be something that a lot of people I'm sure would enjoy. The more customizable these game modes could be, I think the more successful as a whole last man standing can be.
Agreed, as long as there's some sort of algorithm to, you know, make it so they're all the same. So you can't just go and farm one for the most profit an hour or something
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
at the end of the day, the best players are gonna win. When it comes to profit per hour, it's just all comes down to user skill. Like it's gonna have a very high skill cap on it, and the people that are winning that money, I don't really understand what you mean by like preventing farming. What do you mean?
I don't even know myself. I was just trying to generate some more conversation because everyone seems too happy.
Uh, I, all right, let's move on. Let's move on to the still kind of related to. So Trickle mentioned taking all of the good things about Dead Man mode and then just pushing it into a small time frame, like the fights at the end. So, do you think then that this is like a better designed Dead Man mode, and do you think this will further deteriorate the already dead game mode of Dead Man mode?
It's not an alternative to Deadman mode. They are two completely different things. Majority of the time, Deadman mode is spent either hunting for people or hiding from people. This will just be an all-out run, find shit, kill people mini game. What's the rest of it, I should say? And I don't know. I think this is just getting ready to replace it more than anything. Despite them being so different, I think it is getting ready to replace it because I don't think they're that dumb to not see that it's been on the sort of like no one's sort of interested in it anymore. No one even streams it. They can't think that
It's
the
because there's
resources are well delegated.
20 people on a world.
Delegated. Yeah.
I saw Raz tweeted out there was 7 people on a Dead Man mode world earlier this week. Uh, well,
Wow.
yeah. Uh, I think this is fantastic. Like again, I'm really, really excited about this kind of game mode. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna do. I fucking suck at PvP. However, I think that absolutely, yeah, this is a much. It should be the replacement for Dead Man mode. And when this comes out, they they just need to let Dead Man mode die, put it out of its misery, and scrap it. This is a much better version of it. Like it's the 20 to 25-minute games is perfect as opposed to a 3-month season where 2.5 of those months are sub 100 people on a world.
Um, yeah, I suck at PvP as well, so I'd never do it. But it seems like more exciting and interesting than Deadbed mode. But it could just get overhyped and then die out in the future, like this did. So, have to see.
Well, this is going to attract the same types of players that Deadman mode does, so it's probably going to completely kill Deadman mode, and they should just honestly remove it at this point.
All right, so moving on. What do you guys think about the new hunter method of maniacal monkeys, which was put into the game on Thursday? They claim that it is targeted for that essential gap from like level 60 to 80 in training. To give an idea of what the XP per hour is like, from what I saw, it's like 120k XP per hour at level 99, with no money. And also, this was not polled at all. They just straight up did it.
I really hate how inconsistent they are with polling certain things. They just sometimes poll real unnecessary things and then do impact the game, I guess. Yeah. I haven't done the method at all. I haven't even done Monkey Madness.
We had a fucking poll to change what teletabs looked like, but
We had a poll to get rid of pink smear on a fucking item that's like 3 pixels big.
But we don't poll what
Oh my
they're
God.
claiming to be the best XP per hour at like the level 60 range. I mean, come on, like they said
Also,
it's
whichever fucking moron said that the crucial gap. What the fuck? That's where you get everything with Hunter.
yeah,
That
Reds.
60 to 80 gap, you get red chins, you get black chins, you get black sallies. 83, you get dragon imps. I just don't get why there was a need for a different method on all of the others.
It really doesn't fill any gap, and from like the rates that I've seen some people at like level 60 get, they're better off at Red Sally's anyway. Like you get better rates at I mean, obviously there's going to be some people that are much better at hunt, like the top end Red Sally hunters are going to be getting are going to be
The
getting
most
more
competitive Red Salamandra hunters in the game.
they're
CM need to filter for that.
they're getting more XP per hour at Red Sally's at 60, 65 than what they are at these maniacal monkeys. They said it's supposed to be the best XP per hour at that, but I don't really even know if they tested that. I don't like it, and I really don't like that they didn't pull it. It would have passed. Hey, it would have passed without a doubt. I just don't
Yeah,
like
because
that.
everyone still had hard-ons for monkeys.
Yeah, I
Who
just
doesn't?
I just didn't like the whole no pull part of it.
Well, I'm not a fan of the whole not polling it part, but anything that makes Hunter faster is okay by me. Anything that makes other users lose efficient hours played is always good.
This method is. I don't really see the point of doing it unless it's AFK. I'm not really sure if it is or not. Because, you know, it's less XP per hour and no money. As for the, like,
Non-click
polling,
intensive.
it's. Okay. As for, like, the polling thing, they need to actually be consistent with polling. Like, they said back in 2013 they're going to poll, like, every update. And I don't want them just adding stuff they want to add.
Yeah. All right. So this podcast was done at a much later time than usual, and that was geared towards getting people from New Zealand and Australia on, and we've got 4 people from that region on right now. So this question was asked on the last one, but it has a lot more relevance now than what it did on the last podcast. So Australian servers coming out, and
Why am I on this question?
Australian service coming out. What do you guys think about that, and what kind of impact do you think that will have for you guys? What'll it
Now that,
do you think? Like, yeah,
now we've got decent ping, I might be able to. Been thinking about doing some construction. Be painful on 350 ping. Yeah, might end up doing some construction in the future.
It's definitely going to take a couple of days to get used to the reaction of the game, but yeah, I might actually maybe try some efficient methods, see if I can actually do them. It's exciting.
Well, right now I'm like holding back on skills like mining and construction. I tried mining before and I could not do the 4 granite method. I've got around 90k an hour doing the 2 sandstone, 2 granite, but yeah, right now I'm just doing agility until the servers come out.
I definitely agree with Ash in terms of the whole it'll take a while to adjust. Just switching from a US server to a European server is a a bit confusing, and that's only 80 ping difference. So going down another 200 is going to be quite terrifying. But I'm very excited to try new things. I remember getting mining when I was doing 99. I got like 50k an hour, 55k an hour, and I'm actually going to be able to get decent rates now. It's quite exciting.
Well, very happy for you guys about damn time that they finally have come out with them. Sorry. Next question we have is, if you were to be employed by Jagex, what role would you most want to do?
I think Q&A would be fun, but kind of got to know everything, and I suck at like PVM and bossing, so I wouldn't be able to quality test those. But maybe customer service, because they don't seem to have very good customer service in my opinion.
Make customer
But
service great for once.
yeah,
I like to be a developer. I'm studying computer science, software engineering right now, so I could actually work in JX in a couple years if I wanted to. Probably not though. So yeah.
I'd like to be a community engagement specialist, community manager. Feel like it will be really fun to do, and I don't know fuck about computers. I just spend a lot of time on one, so I think that my skill set would be best in engaging with the community. And yeah, being a community manager, I think, would be what I'd most like to do. Or perhaps, you know what? It might be between that and being the anti-cheating specialist. You know what? Fuck
ah,
it, fuck it. I'm going to completely change it around. I want to be the anti-cheating specialist. I would most want to be Weth.
QA would be a lot of fun. You get to complain about things and you never actually have to fix them.
Yeah,
Don't need too much in the way of practical skills. You can just kind of moan that it doesn't work and send it back to them. It'll be good.
Seems like the
yeah, I
perfect
think
role for you.
QA would be pretty good as well.
do you think you'd burn out from RuneScape though, like John C did, if you're doing it too much at work?
I'd welcome that.
Jin's looking for any excuse he can to play less. All right. So Link's Titan released a new video earlier this week, maybe last week. Did you watch it? If so, what'd you think
Razor
about it?
submitted this question.
It was an anonymous submission. I don't know. But if you saw it, what did you think about it? And is there anything more that you want to see from him in the future? Because I know that he did mention something about like if people give me some suggestions, maybe I'll do something.
Yeah, I watched this video like 5 or 6 times right now.
I watched that one of Acids on loop when it came out.
True
Yeah.
fan.
But yeah, I'd like to see more progress videos from him, I guess. I mean, he left some tips in that video, like counting the number of planks you have each time you pay, so he could make more videos and leave little tips that he's found.
I thought it was fantastic. I mean, for me, the highlight of it was his gear setup. Ghostly robe top, graceful bottoms, a Guthix book, no helm. He looked fantastic in it. I don't know exactly what it is that I'd like to see from him in the future, but I just know that I want more.
Video is good, but I don't want him to become someone who uploads a video every week. I think the novelty of his videos is that they are so inconsistent. I'm perfectly fine with getting one in my sub box every 8 months, just so it doesn't take away from that novelty.
Well, all right. So this probably would have been a better question down or up when we were discussing the cosmetic changes that they're going to be adding, but Do you guys care about how you look in game? Like, are you gonna go out of your way to make sure your fashionscape is on point? Do you care about your fashionscape?
I'm a big fan of the mime outfit. I've been wearing it for coming up 3 years now. I mean, it looks good. It's a solid fit. It's got nothing really wrong with it. It's practical. You hit about 0 weight with it if you've got a couple of items on. It's good.
I'm actually rank 1 fashionscape, but unfortunately I can't really wear that much while I'm in crafting. But yeah, if I'm doing another skill that doesn't need a proper outfit, I'll always have my signature outfit on.
Oh, if you were rank 1 fashion, you'd find a way to force it into rune crafting.
Tell them about your headwear.
Take the loss on
A nurse
extra
hat.
stamina points.
A nurse hat and my anti-panties.
I guess I care a bit. You know, I have the team battle staff thing, but you know, doing most skills, you actually have to wear certain outfits these days. You know, they've added so many things that you can't really wear whatever you want if you want to be efficient.
Yeah, doing hunter when I'm at Red Shins, I have the luxury of dressing as much of a fuck as what I want. Uh, you know, it's new fit almost every day. Open up my bank and think to myself, what kind of dumb shit can I throw on today? Uh, gonna probably
Lucky
end.
socks.
Yeah, hey, that was a good idea the other day when you suggested that. Thinking on clearing out some of my bank. Like I have a full bank, and that's just from accumulating bullshit over the years. I think I might empty out like 100 spaces just so I can buy a bunch of other like costumes, outfits, headwear, and things like that that I can wear. Becoming more and more obsessed with looking as ridiculous as I can, and you know, overall, Santa hat's still my favorite, but once in a while you gotta throw on a dragon mask, a cat mask, penguin
Broodoo
mask,
mask.
the Broodoo mask.
The Broodoo mask is solid.
Your eyes are like where your nipples are.
Yeah, really big on the fashionscape when
You want to get
able.
an imp mask, Randy? They are the best.
I'll have to go to. You know, I noticed earlier this week there was a new item in the. Not, I don't even know when the fuck it came out, but there was an item that I had never heard of before. It was called a beanie. I didn't know that that item existed.
Yeah,
There was
like
a quick
6 of
spell
them.
Beanie.
expansion.
Oh yeah, a beanie. Like
Wait,
there's. That is how
what is it?
Beanie. It's just a fucking hat. I
I'll
don't know.
grab a picture of them when I'm at the bank.
uh, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that even I don't know about. Got it. Looking forward to increasing the size of my wardrobe with these new master clues.
Oh no.
I don't really care about fashionscape too much. I usually just wear graceful and maxscape for easy and beneficial for everything you do, pretty much. So yeah, that's it.
I'm definitely starting to favour practical nature of what I wear, but the common denominator for the past 3 years has been the Steam Battle Staff and graceful gloves. But as long as it works, it's just I don't give a shit.
All right. So next question we have is, what do you guys think is the best part about being in Hexis?
I like the clan chat banter every now and again. Yeah.
I like being in a clan of people who don't have the same mindset as you are all achieving their goals or whatever. And yeah, the band is great.
I like the people and being able to come on the TeamSpeak and talk to everyone and being surrounded by, well, because I'm one banana, most people are better than me in the clan, so kind of keeps me motivated to keep playing. So it's always good.
I love that we get first say on all updates, and that if Jagex want anything in game, it has to go through us first. So That way I feel like I'm in control, because I'm a bit of a control freak like that. Suits my needs.
It's nice basically being in control of RuneScape. But when Hexis is good, it's great, basically. The good nights on TeamSpeak are one of the main things that keeps me around.
That getting boned night was a good one.
That was very enjoyable.
uh, I guess
Oh
being
yes,
around.
arguing with Matto from the chat. Arguing with Matto is a good one.
um, I guess being around people just as sweaty as I am is pretty cool. All right. Let's move on though. Who added this question in? Fucking, I'm deleting it. All right.
You told me to add that question.
Oh, hold on. Let me see what the question was. Oh, okay. All right. So,
Did you read it as meme?
you know what? I don't even know what was going through my head when I was looking at it. But so Ginge and Trickool are infamous for their unique usernames. So, I guess I wanted them to answer what their favorite in-game name that they've had on RuneScape has been. So I guess this is more at Ginge and Trickle. Out of all the stupid ass names you guys have had, which one has been your favorite?
Go on,
They won't
Ging.
just delete themselves. Come on. Surely you've all had names you like.
I mean, I've got an idea of which ones I've liked of you guys.
No, what's your? Have you had any other names other than Randalicious before?
I was Hexis Space Randy and Hexis No Space Randy before. Uh,
And how did you feel about that?
I felt flattered when someone took the name Hexis Randy with a space in it. You know, shout out to the fans. Hexis Randy with no space will probably be taken after this podcast. I didn't like Hexis Randy without a space. It just looked like shit.
I really love Time Paradog because I got like endless PMs throughout the month of people thinking that I've gone mad because nobody knew what I was talking about. But one of the trashiest ones I had was New Name Plur. I didn't like that one very much.
That one wasn't very good.
My Ronin related names are definitely lacking though.
Big boy Ronin.
I think I'm a bit on the cautious side to yank his tail even more after he force changed it last time.
I'll just say that I think that Haha New Year is my best so far. I work to beat it one day. Zac Efron is a necessary step along the way.
I think that for Ginge, the favorite name that I had, this was back in 2013, the one that you had. Um, please tell everyone what it actually is, but it was like N2OH, whatever that.
Into a JHY and FMGST.
That
That one
name is.
wasn't very good.
For Trickle, maybe Big Boy Ronin was my favorite.
Oh no.
I don't say that with much confidence. However, give me some of the names that you've had before. I don't have them all memorized.
Chubby Ronin, Fuck Sailing,
You said
Alright
Trickool.
Name, Big Boy Ronin, Trickool, Fuck Jimanua.
That's bad.
It was Impulse.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Big Boy Ronin. Ginger's name Fish King Ging was
Don't
pretty.
talk about that.
Dark Days.
That was a real good one. All right, fuck it. So I'm gonna move on then to the next one. So, for those of you guys, I don't know if I've seen many of it in the chat here, but if you put in the chat $submit and then put a topic, it will send me your topics that you submit, and we will answer some of those here at the end. So that's just another reminder to do that. It's a new feature from LinkSpot, which is a Twitch chat bot. So let's move it on then. So we've talked about it in the past about possibly having guests on the podcast. Who would be someone or some people that you guys would like to see on a Hexis podcast in the future that isn't in the clan?
AJ, probably. I like AJ. Or Oi. I like Oi as well. I don't really know anyone else though. I'd particularly like to hear their input on.
I'd like to see Lynx, but he'll probably not do that. Just to see his view on the game. But someone that might actually do it, AJ's. He started streaming recently, so quite interesting.
I'm going to keep pushing for our guy Orange here to be on the podcast. Should have been here today.
He maxed today, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like 4 a.m.
Yeah. Didn't even
Yeah,
wait
because
for
he
his
needed the
fellow
boys to be
Australians.
about. Tazar Hero made a guest appearance.
We went on though.
Really?
The boy wasn't here.
Don't worry, King, we can just forget about you.
Um, see, I would like to have a mod at some point in time on. Kieran, I know Kieran has watched a couple podcasts. Kieran would be great to have on. I
Or
get,
Boaty, actually.
yeah,
I like Boaty.
yeah. I mean, if you like, I know that he knows a lot about the game, and from a publicity standpoint, that would be phenomenal to have him on it.
He's also skilling at the moment because he wants to get Max Cape.
Really?
So, yeah, slowly but surely.
Wow.
He's doing like 65k an hour harvest without mouse keys. It's pretty fucking good.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be interesting to have him on for sure. Then, yeah, Lynx was a good idea that you said there about having him on. Um, yeah, I guess I'll go my top three: Lynx, Bodie, Kieran. Or hey, wait. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. I also want to throw John C in there. So John C started playing again. For those of you guys who don't know, he used to be a member of Hexis for about 8 or 9 months, and then he disappeared shortly after he was hired. So would like to see him on it. I know he was on the TS back like late 2013. I don't know, Ginge, if you were on TS when he was when
Well, he
we
came on once after he was hired. I remember that.
yeah. I remember before like when they said, "Oh, our new mod is Mod John C," and he was on the TS, and we were just like, "Oh, is that you, John?" Like kind of making a joke about it. And then he was like, "Yeah, it's me." And we didn't really believe him until it actually happened.
Did he stop playing like as soon as he got hired? Is that why he stopped?
He
No,
was running on fumes for a bit, wasn't he?
he slowly burnt out. He went from like 45 to 50-hour weeks right before he got hired to like 30, and then it was like 20, and like he slowly just faded away. And
He was fourth in line.
yeah, he was ranked 4 overall, 4, and then just
Wow, that's pretty good.
And then a turn of events, including cookies getting banned and him burning out.
uh,
And then IQ burn out and all, didn't he? Thick Nerd managed to get number 4.
What a tragedy.
all right, moving on. Uh, so they're going to be hiring a new community manager. He's not replacing Ronan. Ronan's not being fired. It's just a new community manager. Uh, I'm pretty excited about this. There is a lot of potential for us to finally get a quality community manager, and very excited. And hey, I hope this guy exceeds all expectations. Because for me, Ceiling. What I expect him to be just really, literally the exact opposite of Ronan is what I expect.
Yeah, cool. More is better.
Well, if they're keeping Ronan, if this guy does really well, they might end up removing Ronan. There's actually a tweet this week was like wondering how things got got here and had Ronan sitting in the Jagex office.
Oh yeah, dude, I saw that. That was fucking hilarious.
Actually, kind of curious, is Ronan going to be like in charge of this new dude?
I
He's
I
going to
don't
be
know. Like,
his mentor.
yeah,
Mentor.
is
Oh, he's
Ro
gonna have to train him.
is he gonna be Ronan's subordinate?
Oh,
Ronan should not be in charge of people.
Could be interesting.
Ronan should not be in charge of himself.
All right, so here is that part in the podcast where announce who was the winner of the OS Buddy Pro from last podcast. A lot of people are gonna get some shit for this, but it was Oslo who won the 3 months of OS Buddy Pro. You gotta play to
That
win.
fucking avatar.
You gotta play to win,
Looks terrible.
and he won. So gave him the codes earlier today, and if you guys want to qualify for a 3 month OS Buddy Pro code giveaway, all you got to do is be a subscriber to me on YouTube and leave a comment on this YouTube video of the podcast. Haven't thought yet of a
What
keyword.
about hashtag rigged?
Groot.
Rigged, as in this competition was rigged?
No,
Oh,
root.
rigged.
Root.
Rigged.
There was 40 comments on it, and not everyone used the keyword. He just you got to play to win. There was a guy that won it one time that had a negative ass comment.
With
And-
celery.
Yeah, it was like saying this just so I can take away from the chance of other people winning it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, um, well, all right, we'll go with Ginger's hashtag rigged. We'll go with that as the keyword. So, on a side note, our boy Acid Soul got 200 mil agility in fishing earlier today. Uh, he's got three of probably the most prestigious skills now with agility, fishing, and mining at 200 mil. What do you guys think about it? Not really any order here, but just take it how you
Acid
want.
is a fiend. He stabbed us in
Stole
the
our
back.
thunder.
He promised us a party,
We
but
were
we
all in
weren't
this
invited
together.
to it. As early as 150 mil XP, he PM'd me saying that he wanted to have a threesome party with me and Ging because we were real cool guys. And then, out of nowhere, he just fucking runs to the finish line, not waiting for us.
You guys let him down.
He let us
Not
down.
real cool guys anymore.
he wanted rank 7.
Truly amazing. Looking forward to see what he does now with Hunter. All right, so moving on. Ashley and Carmen, this was your guys' first time on the podcast. How have you guys thought that it's gone so far? Did you like it to this point?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Been a bit nervous, like for the past 2 weeks, knowing that I'm going to be on it, but a bit more relaxed now. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Happy to do it again. Bit nervous as well, but yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it seems to be for everyone when it's their first time on. They start and they're feeling pretty nervous about it, and then overall they get more comfortable as it goes on, which is expected. I know when Ashley was talking to me yesterday, is talking about how she'd be really nervous that she'd say something stupid or something like that. I told her that like you'll get more comfortable over time. You know, it's just an organized discussion. And like I brought up
Mm.
that like I don't really remember Trickle. Do you remember the first time Jin's um Ecdubs when you guys were on the first podcast that you guys were on? Like I don't even remember what I was feeling like before our first one.
I was shitting my pants at the first one. Like first couple of questions, I was shaking.
Were you?
I think mine was episode
Yeah.
2, and that was a terrible podcast.
Because I
Man,
was on episode 1, and I was just a no-namer doing what everyone else was doing, and I was so scared.
I don't really think I was nervous or anything like that. I was just like, all right, let's give it a try and we'll see how it
Let's
goes.
get right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I was nervous. I think I was on it like a year ago now, and yeah, I haven't even watched like the YouTube video of that one because I don't even want to know if I said anything stupid.
Oh yeah, I hate watching back the podcasts. I mean,
Yeah.
Same.
All right. So let me pull up here some of the submitted topics. $ submit in the chat to submit a topic. Let me pull it up here. So we got a question. First question we got here is so what have you guys been up to in RuneScape during the podcast? What have you been training? And what are some recent achievements that you just got or are going to be getting soon?
Um, I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. I think I'm having a crisis of just not knowing what to do. So I'm just hunting because it's EHP and I get money, and it's kind of alright.
Just gotta get your head in the game, dude.
One more. I dare you. One more.
Ginger, are you sad that Trickle's not following in your footsteps anymore?
I'm happy to see him growing up and becoming his own man. You know?
Oh.
Feel good for him.
I feel like
Throughout
riding a bicycle without
The
stabilizers.
training wheels
Safety
are
wheels? I
off.
don't even know what you call them.
Training wheels.
Yeah. It's a big scary world out there.
throughout the podcast, I've just been doing agility. Pretty easy. And recently I got 145 mil herb lore. I'm gonna finish that off in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, that's about
What
it.
pots are you doing?
Magic.
You don't mind saying? Oh yeah.
You have like 100k of them in each year or something.
Yeah, they weren't selling. I think I broke the market.
That's gonna take a while to sell.
Yeah.
I've just been making astral runes. Been good fun. Basically agility. And I don't have any significant milestones coming up for a while. Just because I'm training at 30k an hour and 20k an hour.
Farming's
Just
1.1 mil an hour.
been rune crafting, doing nuts. Probably stop at 25 mil. I'm about 24.1 mil now. And I might do some Slayer. I have no idea what I'll do after that. See what happens.
I've been hunting. It's been going well. Just got uh about to be getting a 100 mil hunter tonight if I want to slob it out. Still got another mil to go, but that's what's going on with me and what I've been up to. I think Dubs got skipped there.
Yeah. I've just been doing agility and rune crafting on my ult. Right now I'm just going for 20 mil ball. Still have prayer, construction, and slayer to get, but I have no money, so yeah.
Alright, so I think that this question may have gotten deleted, perhaps. Actually, yeah, I know that it did. So there is a new mod that has joined us, West. Just wanted to say that I think that he's going to be a nice addition to the team, and From when he was talking on the Q&A, at least to me, he displayed that he has some good game knowledge. He said that he used to play it back in the day, quit, came back for old school, and he seems to know. He seems to know quite a bit about the. He seems to know a lot more than Archie, which I mean, I think he's a good pickup. If anyone has any other points that they want to bring up about your first impressions of Mod West, uh, feel free to share them.
His name sounds quite similar to Modware.
Yeah, that might. I wonder if some people are gonna get a little confused with that. But all right, let's see.
I didn't watch the Q&A, but it's also always good for mods to have good game experience and know what they're going on about.
All right, I don't really think we touched base on this too well. I mentioned it just a little, but they are going to be having tier 80 gear coming with the new raid bosses. What do you think about that kind of gear in general? Are you a supporter of the small power creep, or what is your opinion on tier 80?
Wait, what was the question?
So with raids, they're coming out with a tier 80 gear. What is your opinion on the tier 80 gear in general?
I don't know.
We don't really know anything about it, so how can we comment on it? Like, is it going to be power armor? Is it going to be tank armor? Is it going to be what?
From what I saw, they're not really going to make it like offensive based to where like it has like a strength bonus or any kind of special attacks like that. I believe that it's more so centered around being tank gear.
Its main use will probably be the raids itself, which you get it from, which means it's pretty good
Yeah,
in terms of well balanced content.
yeah. I think that it'll have. I hope that it's not like the overall best defensive gear. I hope that it's kind of similar to something like the Arc Light, where it's only good against certain things. I don't know, just where it has special use in some place. That would be my desire for the thing. So, one more um thing here is this is one this is one from the Zoid here. So this is not a RuneScape related question, and we'll probably end the podcast here after this one here. So he says, if you were doing a manned mission to Mars and you could take a few others with you, who would you take?
Trance.
Anyone else?
Nah, just me and Trance in a space shuttle together.
Sounds cute.
That'll be two peas in a pod.
Just not seen him in a while, that's all.
Yeah, where is Trance?
He's gone.
Been busy.
He is back on the 100-hour weeks though, so that's
Casually.
yeah, casual 100 hours. I don't really know who I would take.
I wouldn't
No one.
take any RuneScape players. I'd take someone with like practical skills
Yeah,
What is
rather
it?
than
A
clicking
mission to
skills.
Mars.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some people that would have a skill set that would be good for a mission like that, and really no one comes to mind, not even myself. Uh,
Friggin' trained astronaut, thanks.
it sounds more of like a suicide mission than anything, I think. Jesus Christ. Uh, yeah, wouldn't be fun. Um, anyone wanna anyone else wanna answer that or? Move on.
Nah.
All right. About to be ending the podcast here then. Um, want to thank everyone for tuning in. The next podcast, Hexis podcast number 40. This one will be a face cam podcast. It should be done. Let me pull up the calendar here. June 12th. June 12th will be the date of the next Texas podcast, and yeah, it'll be a face cam one, so that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing you guys there for that one, and it's gonna do it. See ya.